What's up everybody, my name is Dan. Welcome to Ahnestly. The Herman Miller Embody is one of my favorite chair picks of all time. But without a headrest, the chair felt incomplete. Well, there are two companies that make third-party headrests for the Embody. You've got Ahnest Headrest version over here, and then OfficeLogix's version over here. The OfficeLogix version costs $180, and the Ahnest Headrest version costs $190. If you use my coupon code Entourage, you can get $5 off. That brings it to $185. And the question is, should you get the Ahnest Headrest version even though it costs $5 more over the OfficeLogix? The answer is yes. 100,000% yes. The OfficeLogix headrest is really disappointing. Let's get honest. Color options. Both Ahnest Headrest and OfficeLogix offer their headrests in different colors and fabric options. Now, these aren't just made up colors and fabrics, they're trying to match what Herman Miller offers on their Embodies. Ahnest Headrest is the clear winner here because they offer 47 different options, whereas OfficeLogix offers 7. But OfficeLogix does offer 2 colors and fabrics that Ahnest Headrest does not. They have the black color balanced fabric headrest, and then they also have the gaming amethyst, which is the purple color headrest. Now, you might be tempted here because if you have either of these options, you might say, oh, well, their Ahnest Headrest doesn't really sell a headrest that matches those chairs, so I'm gonna go ahead and get the OfficeLogix. If that's you, I get it, but I'm gonna plead with you right now, finish this video before pulling the trigger because I think you really need to see the stark difference between these two headrests before making a decision. I've been reviewing chairs, home office tech for 4 years now, and despite having over 12 million views, I'm still pretty far from my dream of hitting 100,000 subs. So if you guys like what I do here, if I've helped you at all, please consider subscribing. Please help me hit that goal. That would be awesome. And I would love to know in the comments, do you guys think a headrest is necessary for a chair? I'd love to know. Concerns with installation. I'm not going to talk about how to install these headrests. There are videos from both companies that teach you how to do that, but there is a concern here that I have with the OfficeLogix's installation process. You see, the arm of the chair here, in order to clip onto the chair, it uses this rubber hook, and that hangs on the fabric in the back of your chair. And you can see this headrest actually has quite a bit of play here. And that's really concerning because every time this thing moves and wiggles, that rubber hook here is rubbing against that fabric, and that's definitely gonna leave a mark. How bad of a mark? Will it damage a chair? Only time can tell. Now, you might be worried here, what about my chair's warranty? I'll talk more about that in the warranty section, but I'd love to know, is this a deal breaker for you? Let me know in the comments. Materials. The plastic used on the OfficeLogix headrest, it feels like a higher quality 3D printed plastic. It's not great, but it's also not terrible. When it comes to the touch and feel of it, it does feel cheap. It feels almost tacky compared to the soft feel of the Embody's plastic. When it comes to colors of the main body, it's a close match, but not a 1-to-1. But then when you get to the backing of the headrest, this is using that same plastic that's used on the rest of the headrest. But in terms of color from this to the backing of the gaming Embody, it's a pretty stark contrast. They don't really match that well. Then you've got these blue knobs here, these blue shiny knobs. And again, you've got a third shade of blue on this chair. It doesn't match the back or the backing of the Embody. The only pro in terms of materials that I can find here is that the fabric that's used on the gaming headrest at least seems to be identical to the fabric used on the gaming Embody. Is that gonna be the case across all their headrests? I don't know. I don't know enough about them. I haven't really talked to them. I tried getting a headrest from them. They said that there weren't any available, but I picked this up pretty freely on Amazon. I bought it with my own money. One downside though is that even though the fabric might be the same on these chairs, the way that it's installed doesn't look great. The gaming one isn't too bad, but I saw a gentleman who had the balanced one and it just looks so wrinkled. It did not look good at all. Compared to Ahnest Headrest, the plastic used here I believe is a glass infused nylon. It feels really sturdy, really high quality, and the color is supposed to be a 1-to-1 match as well. I've got the gaming Embody one here, so you be the judge about whether or not these are a 1-to-1 match. And that was Ahnest Headrest's whole philosophy when it came to materials. They wanted it to be a 1-to-1 match with all the Embodies. So the backing of the headrest here, this is actually using that same rubbery, plasticky, pixelated mesh thing that's found on the Embodies. And Ahnest said that they matched all 4 that Herman Miller offers. You've got the gaming Embody blue one, you've got the clear white one, you've got the gray, and then you've got the black. When it comes to the fabric, and the colors, again, Ahnest Headrest said that every one that they offer is gonna be a 1-to-1 match with an Embody that has that color and fabric. Functionality. The OfficeLogix headrest is barely usable. it's really difficult to find that exact position. And I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but when you sit in the chair, you actually have different positions that you need the headrest as you tilt back. So to move the headrest and to adjust it is just a huge pain in the ass. So the way that it works is that this black knob here, it's gonna adjust the in and out. But before I do it, I just wanna explain some things. One is that this has to be loosened all the way to make any kind of movement on the in and out. And even when you do move it in and out, it doesn't move purely in and out because it's this kind of feature. So if you wanna move it in, it also moves down, which makes it really difficult to find that position. But also, if you lock this thing cannot be adjusted on the fly. So if you're sitting in the chair and you want adjustments, again, let's say you tilt back, you typically need the headrest in a different position when you tilt back. But if you want to move it around, you cannot do that because you have to, again, unlock this thing fully in order to do that. Because again, there's no tension that you can put on there that allows you to just move it on the fly. It's got to be fully unlocked or else you can't move it at all. So that's the first annoyance, and it also feels really cheap as well. The blue knobs here, if you unlock this is going to control I tightened it pretty hard. This is gonna control the swivel on the headrest. Now you can really crank this down, and unlike this black knob, you can swivel this even when it's tight. So when you're sitting on it, you can have it in a position, but you can just use a little bit of force and then move the headrest that way. So at least that part you can adjust. And then it's got a final adjustment to move it up and down, and this is terrible. It is cheap, it is clunky, it is not easy to do. Yeah, adjusting this is really, really hard, and making precise movements, little micro movements, is pretty much impossible because it just requires so much force to move up and down. Now, this headrest can go pretty low, but not in a way that's usable because look, if I bring it down, remember how I told you that if you move it in, it's also moving down, and look, there's nobody who's gonna use a headrest in that position. So even though it can go down, it's unusable. I'm gonna say that the bare minimum height for using this headrest is probably gonna be around 5'6", which is my height. Any shorter than that, then you're not gonna be able to use this headrest. Adjusting the Ahnest headrest is super easy. You get 3 movements. You get up and down, you get forward and back, and then you get a swivel. That's it. And it's super easy, super intuitive to adjust. And because it's all, you can still move it while sitting in the chair, you can have micro movements pretty easily. Now, let's say you really want to lock this in. Let's say you're on the taller end and you lean on it and you find that it keeps sliding down. Well, what you do is you pull it out. There's a hex screw here. With the included hex screw, you're gonna take this and turn it and tighten it to however tightness you like. For me, I've tightened it enough so that when I'm sitting in it, it's not moving down. But if I ever need to adjust it, I'm able to do it using just a little bit of muscle. Now, if you wanna tighten the forward and back, let's say again, you're leaning on it and you find that it's pulling back, you can tighten this hand knob here. But let's say you wanna crank it down even more, you can take a hex screw, again, there's a screw in here, and you can really crank it down so that you can't ever move it. Again, I've tightened it just enough so that when I'm sitting in it, when I'm using it, it's not moving back and forth, but at the same time, I'm able to move it if I need to because I like it out of the way when I'm sitting up, and I like activating it when I'm leaning back. The Ahnest headrest can go really far down, and unlike the OfficeLogix headrest, it's functional at the entire range, even down here. So right here, you can see that it just sits just in front of the back of the chair. So shorter people, I think down to like 5'4", can use this headrest. But if you're super tall, like 6'3" or taller, and you want additional upper back support, you can leave it in this position as well. The padding is so soft that it feels like there's just extra stuff on the chair, and it gives you extra support. It's just really, really well done. When it comes to switching out this headrest portion, with the Ahnest headrest, there are 2 screws here. You can unscrew that and pop out the headrest and pop in a new one if anything should happen to your headrest, or you end up getting a different chair, or you want a different fabric color or whatever. With OfficeLogix, their big advertisement marketing thing was that you could switch this plastic thing out with just 2 fingers. I tried using 2 fingers. I tried using 10 fingers. I can't get the thing out, at least not without being afraid that I'm gonna break the headrest, which I didn't wanna do before this review. 2 functions that the OfficeLogix headrest has that Ahnest does not is that they've got a coat hook, but this coat hook only works if your headrest is back a certain amount, because if not, it kind of just hangs in the air like this, so it's pretty useless. It can only work if the headrest is in this position, here, like that. And then it's also got a cutout here. This makes it so that if you wanna show off your Herman Miller X Logitech tag back here, you can. With the Ahnest headrest version, there's no cutout, so your tag would essentially be hiding and you can't see it. Headrest cushion and design. The cushion on the OfficeLogix headrest isn't bad. What's bad though is the design of this headrest. It's pretty much just flat and it offers very little support for your neck area, for your shoulder area. It just offers nothing. There's really only one position you can rest your head, and even then it's not that comfortable. Let me demonstrate here for you, and also demonstrate for you how difficult it is to adjust this headrest. So when I'm sitting like this, the only position that I can kind of get comfortable, let me lock this, is going to be tucked into this little lip here. And it's the only position that I can have it is in that like bone at the back of my head, back here like this. That's the end of like the spinal cord, like that's kind of where it sits, and that's it. And again, when you tilt back, you need the headrest in a slightly different position. And so in order to move it, I have to unlock this whole thing. I gotta try to figure out where that is. Then I gotta reach all the way back. I gotta unlock the thing, and then I can have it in that position here. And this is it. And it's not that comfortable because the default position when I'm leaning back here, because of the way my head sits, my eyes are a little bit more up. So if I wanna see straight at my screen, if I'm relaxing, if I'm gaming, I have to kind of tilt my head down. And again, there's no support on the rest of my neck here. And this feels like I'm straining a little bit. So it's just really not well designed. Compare that with Ahnest Headrest. So Ahnest Headrest, the cushion is super duper soft and it's got this huge rounded curve, and that's gonna allow you to put it in pretty much any position that you want. Let me demonstrate here again. If I do this, what I'm able to do is while I'm sitting inside of the chair, I can adjust it exactly the way I want it, just like this, right? And it sits in that entire curvature of the neck, provides me full support, feels really good. But let's say I don't want it there. Let's say you can have it on the back of your head too if that's what you want, similar to how the OfficeLogix does it. You can even raise it higher if you want. You kind of sit it back here if you want, and you can have it any way you want, and it's super easy to adjust. But let's say you're tilted back now. Well, again, super easy to adjust, pull it in exactly how you like it, and you can have it in various positions. And you can see that it's providing support all along that neck if you really want it. Now, if you push it down more, what's gonna happen is your head will tilt more up for some reason. If you wanna look more upwards, you're just trying to relax, you can do this. If you move it up and just tilt it forward a little bit, look, again, you get support on that entire spine, entire neck, and you can look forward a little bit, you can tilt it more forward, and again, you're just getting support in that entire neck to look forward in this direction. It's just so much nicer done than the OfficeLogix. One of the huge downsides of the OfficeLogix is that there's plastic exposed everywhere on that thing. Compared to Ahnest Headrest, everything has been covered. So no matter what position you're in, you're not gonna feel any plastic, hard plastic on your spine or on your neck. Compare that to the OfficeLogix. This entire thing is exposed. And if you try to swivel this by accident while you're sitting in the chair, this plastic is digging into your neck, and there have been moments where it's really hurt because I'll just be sitting there and let's say I forgot to tighten this thing, well then it'll kind of flat back and I'll lean back and it'll stab me right in the neck. It's just really, really poorly designed. The warranty. We're gonna talk about two kinds of warranty. Warranty for the headrest itself, and then how does a headrest affect the warranty of my Embody? So let's talk about the first part. OfficeLogix does not provide any kind of warranty policy for their headrest. That doesn't mean there isn't one, it's just not stated. There's nothing on their product page, and if you go to their warranty policy, it only mentions warranties on the refurbished chairs that they sell. Dan from the future here. Next week's video is actually going to be about OfficeLogix's refurbished chairs. This happened totally by accident. Don't have time to explain it in this video, but make sure you check it out. If it's already uploaded, I'll put the video up here somewhere. Thanks. Ahnest Headrest offers a 3-year warranty on their headrest. And now for the big elephant in the room, how will a headrest affect the warranty of my chair? This is the question I get all the time. Hey, is it gonna void the warranty? Is it gonna void the warranty? Herman Miller's warranty policy says that if you use a third-party accessory on their chair, it's gonna void your warranty. But here in America, there's something called the Magnuson-Moss Warranty Act, which legal experts, I'm not one, but legal experts have said that if you add a third-party accessory to your product and you claim a warranty claim, the company cannot deny that warranty claim unless they can prove that whatever you added, that third-party accessory you added, directly caused the failure of whatever you're trying to get repaired. So let me put it this way. This headrest here from OfficeLogix, it's using a hook here. And let's say it moves around and it frays your fabric, and you go to Herman Miller and you're like, hey, I'd like to get this repaired. Well, Herman Miller sees your headrest and says, no, because you added the third-party accessory, that caused the fraying up here, we're not gonna replace it for you. But here's the thing. Frayed fabric, I believe, fits under wear and tear. So even if the other parts of your chair were frayed, I'm not even sure Herman Miller would cover that. They might say that that's wear and tear. I don't really know. Again, I'm not a legal expert. But let's say now you go to Herman Miller and your chair, its tilt lever broke. And you go to Herman Miller and you say, hey, I'd like to get the tilt fixed. They come, they see your headrest, and they're like, no, you have a third-party accessory. We're not gonna fix your tilt lever. Well, that would be illegal unless Herman Miller can prove that the headrest led to the failure of the tilt lever, which I don't know. Maybe I'm just not very smart, but I don't see how they would even prove that. So I hope that puts some of your anxieties about the voiding of your warranty of your chair to ease, or to rest, sorry. Been talking a lot. The Embody Headrest by Ahnest Headrest costs $5 more with my coupon code than the OfficeLogix headrest, but it is light years ahead of the OfficeLogix headrest. As a matter of fact, I think this headrest is so bad that if it were the only headrest available for the Embody, I still wouldn't buy it. I think it's that bad. I'd love to know, am I being too harsh? Let me know in the comments down below. Until next time, stay safe, and as always, stay honest.